This is Chuck Schaefer of HCM TV, and I am joined by Nagaraj Nadenla, Group Vice President and General Manager, Talent Acquisition Products with Oracle. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Let me start off by looking at a little history and trying to understand where we are from a talent acquisition technology perspective. Oracle has been at the forefront of talent acquisition, at least since or before its acquisition of PeopleSoft. But now a lot of HCM and business leaders look at systems such as applicant tracking software as a bit legacy or antiquated, and they're looking for more modern technology. From your perspective, what does a modern technology talent acquisition system look like?
I think a modern talent acquisition system will allow customers to solve key problems that they face today, right? As research bears out, both internally at Oracle, as we've seen externally as well, more than 50% of the talent acquired is through internal mobility. And from external talent acquisition perspective, it's referrals, the number one source of external talent. So I think what's changed is the market has changed in terms of where they are acquiring the talent from.
From the Oracle perspective, how has the acquisition of Taleo affected the HCM strategy and the product roadmaps?
I don't think it changed the HCM strategy overall in any meaningful way, specifically in the case of recruiting products. It's just a plug-in into the overall talent management, which further plugs into the overall HCM suite. As you've been at the Open World and you saw our executives talk about the cloud-based solutions, I think all of the pieces of the puzzle fit very well together, be it a customer's looking for a talent management suite or an overall HCM cloud solution. All the pieces are there today.
You bring up the cloud, and we've seen a number of disruptive technologies affect talent management and talent acquisition. But how has the change in technology also changed the benefits that companies are realizing with that technology?
When we think about opportunities today and the way talent is being acquired, so the opportunities can themselves be disruptors, mobile, social, big data, and other technology disruptors are real opportunities as well. So when, social, if you think about how social can play a significant role in talent management, that applies to talent acquisition as well. If you think of referrals, as I was talking about earlier, viral marketing and crowdsourcing has happened for the longest time, right, through referral networks or personal networks. But the tools and technologies that we can bring to bear today to facilitate a much faster, more economical model to that is just phenomenal.
You've brought up some technologies as they affect talent acquisition. Let me see if I can drill down to some business processes. Can you share a use case or use cases that deliver particularly strong benefits with the use of social technologies or mobility?
So if you think of internal mobility, having the entire talent management suite and the HCM suite work together, where you have a really good sense of who your employees are, what their profiles are, what they're good at, how did they do overall, not only within your context, within a customer's context, but also bringing data about them from external sources and making that available and matching them to opportunities internally. It benefits the company, number one, because you already know about the talent. The other benefit is the talent has career development opportunities internally where they don't need to go externally. Attrition is a big expense for customers, right? So there's a direct benefit. That's one strong use case. Likewise, as we talked about the research earlier, referrals are very, you're already aware of your talent. You know their strengths and weaknesses. The fidelity in a connection that is brought by one of your employees is much stronger than you just going and acquiring talent externally, right? So the processes and the technologies we bring to bear to facilitate both an internal marketplace and an external talent marketplace can be very powerful tools for our customers.
Very powerful indeed. Do you think that adopters of talent acquisition technologies can achieve a competitive advantage? Or is this more getting to the point where the technologies are becoming pervasive and not having them will actually deteriorate your recruiting and onboarding processes relative to your competition?
I think it'll certainly deteriorate the advantages a company might have if they do not have these two, core strategies, right? That said, though, I think the differentiation comes into play. Every company has, mission, vision, strategy, and then core principles to support the strategy. If you don't have that and you don't have a talent strategy to support that, I think they'll fail, even despite the tools that they have on hand, right? So,
let me continue your thinking there with talent strategy. What advice would you offer to the HR or business leader that's about to create or append their talent acquisition strategy to include new technology?
So I think, I would certainly start with what's your business strategy? What is your operational strategy to support that? And then your talent strategy that supports those two strategies. That would determine, different size companies have different ways of solving this problem. So your talent strategy should feed into what is our corporate goals and strategy. And the talent strategy in turn can be, as an example, startups, I've worked in startups as well. Going and looking for external talent is just not an option typically, because you need the type of talent that can propel a company to achieve escape velocity quickly, right? It takes a different type of talent, and people who've done that before are a good source of the right talent to bring to bear. So I think customers have different, important to have a business strategy first and then figure out the right talent strategy to support that.
Once that talent strategy is in place, what advice would you have for the business leader that's about to deploy a talent acquisition technology?
I think as part of that strategy, you also need to think about who are the core users, where do I optimize the tools and technologies I bring to bear? As an example, candidates, your managers, the HR professionals. You need to think through what is the experience we want to espouse for all the users, where do we optimize first, and go from there.
Very good. And with that advice, I think we're at a good break point to conclude our conversation. This is Chuck Schaefer. I've been joined by Nagaraj Dadendla, Group Vice President and General Manager of Talent Acquisition Solutions at Oracle. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Chuck, for having me.